Hi, third grade parents. Welcome to third grade. I am just going to go through and tell you a little bit about our classroom and the ins and outs of third grade. Starting with me. Hi, I'm Bailey Bretier, and I will be your child's teacher this year. I am so excited. We've already had such a great first week together, and I can't wait to get to know these kids better. A little bit about me. I got married last summer. This is my husband, Josiah. He teaches middle school math out in Lakeville. I have three little brothers. This is them and myself and my mom at my college graduation. I went to DePaul University in Chicago and graduated from there in 2015. Some things that are really important to me. I work at a summer camp, and that's actually where I met my husband. It's called Celebrate Me Week. It's outside of Mankato, Minnesota. And what's really special is that this summer we had some of our St. Ambrose kids go and attend. It's a camp that is for kids just going into 7th grade. So it's a really fun summer camp, and it's faith-based, and it focuses really on self-esteem and friendships and all the things that you need to think about when you are that fun age of 12. So here's myself and 5 of our St. Ambrose girls that were there the week that I worked. In my free time, I also really like to do hand lettering. I have a side business where I make wedding signs or home signs using that hand lettering, so that's kind of a hobby of mine. And finally, there's my perfect puppy. His name is Franklin. He is super naughty and super cute. So let's get right into the fun stuff. Starting with homework. What your third grader can expect this year is a little bit more of our daily routine of homework. The emphasis on that is just to build the independence and to build their routine to prepare them for the later grades. So one thing we ask is for reading. I ask every student to read 20 minutes a day outside of school. This is super important for developing their vocabulary skills and developing their reading skills. It can be themselves independent reading. It can be you reading to them reading to a sibling, them reading to you. Any form of reading, any book, it doesn't matter, just 20 minutes a day is what I ask. Now, there's no log or anything to keep track of that. It's just not on our system. And that being said, I know that life gets really busy, and there are some nights when that just might not happen, and that's okay. But I really encourage them every night to find those 20 minutes at least to set aside to read in some way, shape, or form. In math, they're going to start actually this week having a nightly, almost nightly, there's some exceptions, worksheet or a page from the book. Now what that looks like is it'll just be a short review of what we learned today. So if we see here, we will have, this is what the pages from the book look like. So at the top, you'll have, it's called Another Look, and it tells you a little bit about what we learned that day. So this is just a review, and it's a really good way for you to maybe look back and see, what are they doing in there? So we have another look here. And then this first page is really just going to be a review of what we did together that day. Okay, it's usually pretty short and sweet. Everything on this page should be something that we learned to do that day, and they should be pretty straightforward review. Now there's also a back side. And on this back side, it's going to be a little bit more of the word problems, a little bit more of the higher order thinking, and a little bit more review. So what I tell the third graders is this backside is highly encouraged. So the front side is always do, that's the homework, and the backside is really encouraged. I really encourage third graders to try it every night, even if they only can do a couple. But I do acknowledge that sometimes these word problems are really wordy and tricky, and sometimes myself, I'm like, what are they asking here? So for those of our friends that maybe reading isn't their strongest suit and they don't feel comfortable going through these and they are really frustrating, it's not meant to be frustrating. So if you're feeling that, please let me know. Please write me a note. And if on that night you can only get the first side done, that's okay. I just really encourage our friends to try this backside because it's really good higher order thinking and critique reasoning skills. I just also acknowledge that sometimes it's a little bit tricky. And then next for absence, if you're going on a trip or you have a planned absence, please just let me know and we can work out a plan. I can send some work with you. to do just to make sure that they're caught up on the day-to-day things. Now, if it's just a sick day, honestly, it's really easy for me to just catch them up when they get back. If it's going to be a couple days, I can always bring work to the office for you to pick up, or if they have a sibling here that they can bring home with them. So just let me know, and we can always get caught up when they get back. I'm super excited about our Groves program this year, and mostly because this is our first year that third grade gets to do it. So if your child was in second grade last year at St. Ambrose, they got to start the Groves Believe and Read program, which is funded by Cisco, and we're so happy to have them here in third grade today. So I will be sending home some of this information if you want to get a closer look at it. But what's really exciting is that we get a program just for us, just for third grade, where we can develop those reading skills for our third graders. Third grade is when things start to get a little, the content starts to get a little bit more dense, where there's a little bit more reading from the textbook. And we are really happy that we can have this set aside program to help our struggling middle and all third graders get to learn those skills. So I'll be sending home a little bit more of the information, but here are just some of those facts at a glance, which are really impressive. They've had amazing success here at St. Ambrose and at other schools as well. So we're really happy to have them and really excited that we get to do this in third grade. Ooh, behavior, the fun stuff. So here at St. Ambrose, we really like to focus on our virtue-based restorative justice. So we're really focusing on our virtues, focusing on thinking, what can we do to be better, to have these holy habits and to get ourselves to heaven. So this year, our virtue that we're focusing on is generosity. So in the classroom, what that looks like is we are always talking about what virtues are we doing well and what ones do we maybe need to work on a little bit. And it's a really beautiful way to think about, how are you feeling right now? What are the things you feel you're doing well in, and what are the things you can work on? And we've had beautiful success in our virtue circles talking about those things and dealing with behaviors in a way that we can think about, we just made a mistake, and what can we do to work on that? And then here in the classroom, you may have heard about our chips. So what we really like to do is focus on the green chips. I'm trying to give out as many green chips as I can to focus on good behavior, to celebrate those behaviors. So the third graders can get these green chips. They save them up. If they can get 3, they get a certificate to go home as well as a classroom coupon. So we also need to have some yellow chips as some warnings. So that is just, hey, check yourself, check your body, think about what you're doing. Maybe you just need to redirect. And we have some different ways that we can do that in here. And then if they get 3 yellow chips, so the 3 warnings, or if there's a behavior that really needs to be worked on, the student might receive a red chip. And that would mean that they fill out a virtue form for me here in the classroom, and then I will email that home to you or send it home to be signed just so that you can be clued in. If that happens, I will always keep you in the loop, always keep you informed of what we can be doing and what we're working on here. So for snack, with our lunchtime, we have found that it's going to be best if we have a morning and an afternoon snack. Now that's completely up to you and up to the student. If they just want to eat one either way, or if they want to bring a morning and an afternoon snack, that is okay with me. It's also really nice if they bring water bottles, because our water fountains don't work for just getting drink breaks. And please know that we are a peanut and tree nut free classroom. So please keep that in mind with the snacks that you are sending in here. On a similar note for birthdays, students are welcome to bring in a treat if they'd like to celebrate a birthday, or they could bring in a non-edible treat, or they could bring in nothing. It's just a way to celebrate birthdays. So keep in mind that those should be peanut and tree nut free. Also, we ask that they are pre-packaged and store-bought. So what we mean by pre-packaged is we have a student in here with type 1 diabetes. So anything that you can bring in that has the nutritional info on it, like a wrapper, is super helpful to us, even if it's just on the box or on the individual treat. That is a super helpful way for us to keep safe in here. So we ask that they're store-bought so that there's no cross-contamination of peanuts and tree nuts, and pre-packaged. And we do have 24 students in here. As far as communication, I hope you got my first s'more newsletter last Friday, or Thursday. I will send those out normally on Fridays. In that will just be kind of a recap of our week, some things to be looking for. And then the bottom, I will always have the link to the office news note, as well as our Google photo albums that I'll try to add photos to as the year goes on. Sycamore is more of a one-stop shop for like documents that just stay there all year. I don't update that every week, so our celebrity schedule and our class schedule is on there right now. Ooh, and you should see that the students will start bringing home their homework tracker. So this is for you and for them to keep track of what are the things that we are doing in our classroom that need to be done at home. So of course, there's read 20 minutes every night. If they have a worksheet, they'll write that here. And then any other reminders can go right there. So we're waiting for our home folders to come, and those will be in the top of our home folders every night. For now, they're just bringing them home in a home folder. It doesn't need to be signed or anything, but it is really nice for you to check in at home and see what's going on and what they need to do. And if you have any notes to me, you can always write them on there. So that is what I have for you today. I will be sending home this presentation as a PDF in Friday's news note if you want to take a deeper look at any of these categories. And I just thank you for your time, and I thank you for sending your children to St. Ambrose. We're so happy to have them, and we're so ready for this year. Have a great day.